Hello, today is Thursday, December 17th, and I'm just going to give you a heads up on what you should do today. Of course, like every day, you should start by reading 10 minutes, and I have Schoology open here. The other part is Technology Poems Part 3. So if you remember, each of the days we are working in this one assignment, and so that's why I said do not submit it, because there are 3 different parts to it. And and Tuesday, you should have done Part 2. I'm going to go ahead and open up my example. This is the one that we did together, Save Our Children from Technology. And then I did mine on internet addiction. So what I did for this one is I read it multiple times and I figured out what I thought the author's main message was. And it was about what it feels like to be addicted to the internet, which I thought that was something that I connected with because my son's college roommate was actually addicted to video games and ended up having to drop out of college. So that's why that one drew me to it. The smaller supporting ideas that I noticed were the internal urges, how they compared it to a disease, talking about how the internet was more important than anything else, and so on. And then I went in and I approached it as a writer. Remember, we approach it as a reader to understand what the author's saying, and then approach it as a writer to pay attention to the techniques that the author is using. So, of course, I noticed that they had an acrostic style, which means you write the words vertically, and then each letter of the words starts the idea. I noticed a consistent rhyming scheme every 2 lines. Away, say, disease, freeze, internet, leaving it, nothing, everything. I noticed that each of the words had its own stanza. A stanza is basically what you call a paragraph in a poem. And then every other line had some punctuation and only one question mark. So I didn't think the rhythm was very consistent as far as when I was counting the syllables. So that's what I noticed. We're going to talk about those in class to see what you noticed. Then I moved on to step 3, which is play with poetic form. I want you to know that we are just playing, and I don't want you to stress about you don't have a great poem. Language is an art. That's why we call that English language arts. And I'm telling you, artists don't all of a sudden pick up charcoal or paints and create a masterpiece. Sometimes you come up with something like, whoa, I love that. And sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. So we're just playing. And I'm going to encourage people who are proud of theirs to share them. I might call people out or share a few anonymously, but I just want you to just try it and play with language. And so for those of you that love poetry, go for it. For those of you who are like, oh my gosh, not poetry, just try it and see what happens. You might come up with something that's kind of fun. So it says, draft a poem about technology playing with the style of another author. Don't worry about the quality. We're just playing with ideas, language, and form. Remember, language is an art, so have fun and get creative. Reminder, we're not going for masterpiece, just playing. I did the acrostic style, and you can do the same styles that you analyzed for yesterday's or for today's homework, or the style of the other one that we read on Monday. Or you can even go back to the one that we watched from Prince EA, and I'm losing the name of it right now. But the one that was that spoken word poem, you can do that, or any other one that was linked on step 2. Just try on a new style, and then you're going to try writing. So I did the acrostic where I wrote something vertically, lost without GPS, because I am lost without GPS. And I also remembered a time where I was driving my son and his friend to a birthday party before I had GPS, and I got lost. And it was not very fun because they were very upset with me. So you can see here, and you don't have to do this on yours. I just did it here because I'm providing an example for you that you could go back to and refer to. I tried the acrostic format, but I also tried to tell a story at the same time. One time I was driving my younger son and his friend to a birthday party, and I got lost. This was before I had GPS. They were so mad at me, and I felt so bad. I am really, really bad at directions. The struggle is real. There's something wrong with me. I'm so bad at directions. I also tried to not use punctuation with the exception of the question mark just one time, and I thought periods would break up the ideas too much for this poem. So here's how mine ended up. Leaving the house with boys and gifts loaded, orienting myself with the printed directions, south, north, east, west, turned round almost from the start, wondering where the street sign is, impatient boys stares through the rearview mirror, turning too early, having to backtrack, outwardly showing signs of stress, unsure if I can find my way, tempers in the back seat starting to flare. Going faster than I should at this point, party starting, but we aren't there yet, safely arriving, but 30 minutes late. So that's my play with poem. I want you to just enjoy and have fun. It took me 20 to 30 minutes to write that poem. I did go back and revise it as I was writing it. I didn't get the idea of the story until the middle of it when I was remembering it. So feel free to do that, but I don't want you to stress. Just kind of come up with something that is sort of fun, preferably about technology if you can do it. And if it doesn't work and you want to write, you'll copy a style about a different topic, that's okay too. But the hope is that we'll share these on Monday. You will not be required to share. I might share yours anonymously if it's particularly good. I'm hoping that you'd be willing to own up to it though. All right, have a great day. Good luck with writing your poem.